Oh, look at all the people. Lynn?
Yeah.
Oh, then they would see us. Oh, that is her cousin.
There we go. Is that me? It's Bruce.
I see. It's Alice singing.
Now mute. Now it's mute.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יא נה 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 נה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יא נה 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 נה.
Pick it up.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
All right, folks who are on our outdoor chapel terrace, Shabbat shalom. Pretty good, pretty good. Folks on Zoom, Shabbat shalom. Let's hear you. Yeah.
Shabbat
very
shalom.
good, very good. And folks who are joining us on Facebook Live, Shabbat shalom. We are here together Even though we are in many different places, we are all here. So we want to welcome our digital viewers, welcome, of course, the folks who are here for Olivia's bat mitzvah, this amazing Havdalah service. We want to give special thanks to our members for joining us this Shabbat. We wouldn't be here without you. Couple introductions. Rabbi Rachel Kleinmiller, Rabbi Spike Anderson. I think everybody knows Olivia. Olivia, give a wave. Yes. This is where I act like an airline stewardess. So if we need an emergency exit, they're right behind you, okay? And right here as well. If we needed it, that's where they are. I want to ask everyone to turn off your phones, your Apple Watches. I know you may be tempted to snap a picture as we're doing this. We ask you to put them away. And that seems maybe a little bit silly for folks who are here considering all the technology, but really it's not a question of technology, it's a question of distraction, right? We don't want you to be paparazzi for the moment. We want you to be as present as possible and not distract the folks around you. Folks on Facebook, if you want to give a Shabbat Shalom in the chat for Olivia and wish her a Mazel Tov, this is a good time to do it. And throughout the service, you can comment. I'm pretty sure the Wendt family will be looking through that service many times, and they'll see what you say and what you don't say. So go ahead and do it. For those who aren't present here, let me describe the scene. So you've got Olivia, and she's at the bima in front of the ark, and her family is about 10 feet away, and they are all unmasked because they have space. And then we have a handful of family and friends, and they are separated by their pods, and they are masked, okay, because we are singing here. And then Rabbi Rachel and I are probably 30 feet away from Olivia, and that's enough space that I think we're okay with not being masked. So that's the scene. We're using this red prayer book, the Siddur. For those of you who are online, we have posted it online. You're welcome to follow along. This is a touchy-feely service, okay? And anytime, Mom and Dad, that it seems remotely appropriate to give hugs and kisses when you're up there, you should definitely do it. Friends, your snaps, your claps, your taps, your la-la-las, it all makes a big difference to Olivia because we're a small but powerful group. When we have the ruach, when we have that spirit, it reflects right to her, and then she reflects it back to us. And this way she can lead us as we're ready to go. There's a couple of times where we will call in responses and just jump in when it's time. All right, Olivia, you are ready to go, and we're ready to go with you. Friends, page 4, Hine Matov.
Matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, hine matov. Yalanai, yalanai, hine matov, hine matov. Yalanai, yalanai, hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
Yeah.
So Olivia, there are, I know all the faces, it can be distracting. There are many, many signs throughout this next 90 minutes by which you become a woman in the eyes of the Jewish community. In the next 90 minutes that it happens, one of the telltale signs or benchmarks or signposts on the way is the tallis. And according to tradition, the month before your bat mitzvah, the week before, the day before, even the morning before, you're not allowed to publicly wear your tallis. You can do it privately, but not publicly. And in a moment, and actually, Larry, you can come on up. I'm calling up your grandpa, Larry Brown, who's going to say some words, and in doing so, present your tallis to you. So there, come on up. Right up there, yeah. Whenever you're ready.
As this tallit is draped around your shoulders, may the voices of the generations speak to you. May you know that there is a people, a rich heritage to which you belong, a sacred place from which you are connected to all who dwell on earth. As you are embraced in the folds of this talit, so too are you wrapped in the loving embrace of your family, community, and this holy congregation. May this simplest of garments always be for you a symbol of God's abiding and sheltering presence. As you recite the blessing and wrap yourself in this talit, we proudly watch and celebrate with you as you accept your place in the chain of our tradition.
Okay, now Grandpa's going to come on over and take the talit. It's beautiful, talis. Okay, your arms come to the outside. Beautiful. Okay, thank you, Larry. I'm going to ask Quentin and Alyssa to come on up for a moment. Actually, Dylan, why don't you come up as well and put an arm around Olivia. There you go. So, friends, we know that families and communities come together for all sorts of reasons. Sometimes they're sad reasons. This one, Olivia, super happy, joyous. And so what we Jews do when we know we're in the midst of something really special, something really sacred, is we recite the Shahianu Prayer on page 5, literally thanking God for this moment in time that we're here, breathing and together, and we ask God to allow it, that we can do this type of thing, this type of holiness again and again and again. Please join us, Shahianu.
But first, as you're, wrapped in your talit,
Oh, I forgot the blessing,
and
didn't
around
I?
with your family, Olivia, if you will go ahead and do our blessing first.
Thank you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hatitef v'tzitef.
Amen and amen. Okay, and that's a great intro for Shahianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Shahianu v'kimanu v'higianu b'zman hazeh.
Okay, give her a squeeze.
I know. See, I did it. It's
See
unmuted
it if you
now.
like.
No, it's,
Okay. Olivia, you're going to continue on page 6. Yes, whenever you're ready.
Gather with me on this occasion of my bat mitzvah. Help me make meaningful the covenant you now established with me. Sustain me with a sense of holiness. Inspire me a desire to be special. I do not ask that you make my life easy, resolve my problems, map out the directions of my life. I ask only that you strengthen within me the desire to mold and shape my life in accordance with your will. In this hour of my bat mitzvah, I invoke your blessings upon my parents and friends and all who have loved and cared for me and have brought me to this time of gladness. Give them joy and fulfillment in my growth and achievement. You who turn the hearts of children to their parents and the hearts of parents to their children.
Beautiful. Thank you, Olivia. So we'll turn now to page 13 as Olivia leads us in this responsive prayer.
May the door of the synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for fellowship.
May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, this is together, thanks to express, hopes to nurture.
May the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride.
May its threshold be no stumbling block
so
to
it's hearing
young or
us. See the way the
straying
microphone
feet.
is doing all this?
Too high to admit
how
indifference,
it's moving?
selfishness, and
The microphone is
harshness.
May this synagogue be for all who enter the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
Okay, we're going to rise on page 15 for our Barhu. Now, Olivia, the Barhu is the prayer where we say, "We are ready. Put me in, coach. Hineni." We're good to go.
Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Ya la lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai lai yai lai 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 lai. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Here we go.
We should be able to hear.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach. HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
If you look at your inside cover, you'll see the Mahariv Aravim prayer. And Olivia, in a moment, you're going to lead us in this. Mahariv Aravim is our prayer which begins the night, begins the next Jewish day, as it were, because we start the days at night, right?
Yeah.
And here we have this prayer, which thanks God for allowing us to be a part of that, but also acknowledges, Olivia, that every new day, with every rising moon, with every new day, we get the chance to create ourselves again. We get a chance to create our surroundings and our place in it again. We, as Jews, acknowledge that we're not cemented into what happened yesterday or the patterns of yesteryear. That with each new day, we can engage and start and strive and love in a way that is profound. Olivia, will you lead us in Mahariv Aravim?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu
Eloheinu
melech haolam asher bivaro ma'ariv aravim v'chokhmah poteach sha'arim uvitbuna mishoneh itim umhalav et hazmanim usader et hakochavim b'mishvotehem barakia kirtzono b'rei yom v'layla go'el or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or umavir yom umavir layla umavdil ben yom uvein layla Adonai Tzevaot Shemo El Chai v'Kayam Tamid Yimloch
No, we actually have it on the computer. It's hooked into the
Baruch
television.
atah Adonai HaMa'ariv Aravim.
Very good. And on page 16, you have Ahava Rabbah. Ahava Rabbah talks about God's abundant love. Now, I actually think this is a great prayer for you, because if I think if there's one prayer which describes you and who you are, it's abundant love, right? You've got such a great attitude, Olivia, and it's infectious. You're like a light when you come into a room. And this is a prayer about God's abundant love, great love for us. If you look at all the people, if you think of all the people, Olivia, who really love you, okay? And some of them are right here, right now. You can give her a little wave, everybody, right? The folks who really, really love you. And you've got the folks on Zoom who really, really love you, right? But it's not just them. It's not just us, right? If you think about the teachers who love you and the friends who love you and your various communities, your horseback riding community, right? Your school community, your synagogue community. You've got so many people, Olivia, who really have your best interests and love you very much. And what this prayer reminds us of is somewhere on that list, whether it's first, second, in the middle, last, but somewhere on that list, we should remember that God loves you. God knows your name and God loves you. Would you lead us in Ahava Rabbah on page 16?
Ahava Rabbah Avtanu Adonai Eloheinu Hamla Gedola V'Tera Hamalta Aleinu Va'avor Avtanu B'motenu Shavahu B'cha Yitlamdem Chukei Hayim Kain Tiffonenu Utlamdenu Hamrachem Rachem Aleinu
v'tein b'libenu, l'havin v'lhaskil, lishmoa, lilmod, u'lilamed, lishmor v'lasot, u'kayim, et kol devarei Talmud Toratecha be'ahava. Baruch atah Adonai, habrocher be'amor Yisrael ba'ahava.
Beautiful. And we're getting ready for the Shema on page 18, so we're going to feel our feet on the ground. Olivia, how many times do you think you've said the Shema in your life?
A lot.
A lot. Like more than 10?
A lot more than 10.
More than 100?
I have no clue. I'm not really keeping track, but I
Yeah,
think so.
yeah.
I think so.
I bet all told, I bet closer to 1,000,
Maybe.
right? So this traditionally is the first prayer that a Jewish child learns, right? And traditionally it's the last prayer that a Jew says before she or he passes. And in between, you have the Shema, the central declaration of oneness, of being part of the oneness that we say. It's like a weave. We keep coming back to it and back to it and back to it. So my hope is, our hope is, that when you lead us in the Shema, which we'll do in a moment, that the next time you do the Shema and the time after that, you'll get a hint, a taste of this moment right now, leading your family and friends and congregation in the Shema prayer, which you'll find on page 18.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Okay, and we can all be seated. So Olivia, in a moment, you're going to lead us on page 18 with the Via Hafta, which is the second part of the Shema. Now, the Via Hafta, as a prayer, is a prayer of reminders, right? It asks a question, or there's a question implied in the prayer. And the question is this: when is it that we're supposed to be Jewish? When is it that we're supposed to orient ourselves towards God? When are we supposed to do our very best to do the right thing? Sort of three aspects of the same question. And the answer that it gives in there, Olivia, at first seems, really straightforward. The answer is, well, when you stand up and when you lie down and when you're at home and when you're on the way somewhere, you're supposed to do it. Okay, in other words, always. But always, to do something meaningful always, to do something mindfully always, it's really hard. And so we have reminders. What are the reminders? And they're listed in here. You've got your mezuzah, right, on the doorposts of your house. You've got the Jewish things that are in your life, the books that are in your home, the Judaica, your Jewish communities. Now, you have a couple of them, right?
Yeah.
You've got the Jewish language, both Hebrew and sort of the Jewish language. We're talking Jewish, right? So we have all these reminders. And every time we have these reminders bring us back to a particular place where just for a second we reorient. We say, oh yeah, we can orient ourselves this way. We can raise ourselves to a particular level, right? So the Via Havta, Olivia, is a reminder that we have reminders. That's this prayer. Would you lead us in Via Havta on page 18?
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levacha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anohi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech uv'shofbecha uv'bekomecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafo b'neinecha u'ktavtam Al mezuzot beitecha u'b'yisharecha. Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'eitem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lehayot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Amen.
Okay, we're going to ask Sharon Leff and Jonah Brown, great aunt and cousin, to come on up. You're going to lead us in our responsive reading on page 19. So come on up to our microphone. And Sharon, you can adjust that mic a little bit for you. There you go. Just a tad. There you go. Perfect.
How's that?
Okay, great. And Jonah, you're going to come nice and close as well. Okay, you're doing this together. Okay, so with this italicized reading, you two are going to lead us, and the rest of us, we're going to follow along with the italics, okay? All right, go for it.
Adonai our God, you took us out of slavery in Egypt. You made us free.
You were in the courage with which we overcame 40 years of desert wandering.
Even today, you are in the hope that, like a beam of light, brightens the darkness of suffering and despair.
You are in the love that creates, protects, forgives.
Standing at the sea, we felt your goodness and your love, and we sang a new song to you. And still today, we sing that song.
We praise you, Adonai, Redeemer of Israel. Micha Mocha.
Yai lai 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 la 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 la. Yai lai 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 la 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 la. Yai lai lai la 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 la. Yai lai lai la 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 la. Micha mocha, here we go. Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai. Micha mocha le'edavar kodesh. Nora tehilo dosei fele. Nora tehilo dosei fele. Malchutecha ra'u banecha, hokei hayam mifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze Elianu ve'amru, ze Elianu ve'ameru.
2, 3, 4. Adonai Imoch le'olam va'ad. Adonai Imoch le'olam va'ad.
Micha mocha.
Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai. Micha mocha le'edavar kodesh.
Nora tehilot osei fele. Nora tehilot osei fele.
So Jonah, did you miss your turn, or do you want to read something? You did it? Okay, well give Olivia a big air kiss and hug. And then come on back. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We join in singing what the Israelites proclaimed after they had successfully crossed the sea. We find in their redemption the strength to seek our own. This struggle carries us into the Amidah, a prayer of becoming, of transformation, of divine human partnership that brings grace into our lives and into our world. We rise for our Amidah, our standing prayer, on page 21.
Leva, go ahead and face forward. You're okay. No, other way. Yep, there you go.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Adonai,
Sefatai titach ufi agita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Hasei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei Bneihem, L'Ma'an Shemo v'Yahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen,
Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah Rav laHoshia, Morid hatah. Mechayel Chaim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim berofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishrei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umedom elach, Melech lemid umechayeh, umasmiach Yeshua, Neman atah hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol.
Okay, and now our cousins on Zoom, we're going to invite you to lead us in page 23, and that's going to be Craig Leff and Gretchen Skidmore and Audrey Leff.
Many are the ways of holiness, varied are its paths.
I'm going to make sure that your mic is not on, and whenever you're ready. Okay, if you can you hear me okay? Okay, so whenever you're ready on page 23, you're going to begin with many are the ways.
Many are the ways of holiness, varied are its paths.
There is holiness when we strive to be true to the best we know.
There is holiness when we are kind to others.
There is holiness when we strive for harmony in all of our relationships.
There is holiness when people of different backgrounds.
There is holiness when people seek justice and struggle for righteousness.
There is holiness when people create lasting poetry.
There is holiness when we forget what divides us and remember what unites us.
Holy, holy, holy is Adonai our God.
Page 24. That was pretty zen. That was pretty cool.
Nikadesh et shimcha ba'olam, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמם, כך כתוב היה נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלך הארץ, כבודו. אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו, מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני מקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו ומלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור.
Hallelujah. Ready, y'all? Here we go.
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגידה לך.
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגידה לך.
ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש, קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לא ימוש לעולם ועד. Here comes your part. לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגידה לך.
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור נגידה לך. כי המלך גדול, גדול וקדוש, גדול וקדוש אתה. כי המלך גדול, גדול וקדוש, גדול וקדוש אתה. ברוך אתה אדוני,
Baruch Shemo.
האל הקדוש.
Please be be seated. Okay, Olivia, you're going to lead us on page 25 responsively.
From the old, the Jewish people have seen Shabbat as a unique gift, a token of its covenant with God.
Shabbat is the most cherished creation of the Jewish spirit. It mirrors the essence of the Jewish soul.
Shabbat has never been merely a day of rest from labor. It has always been a break in the routine of everyday life.
Shabbat is a symbol of liberation and triumph, of the holy over the profane, of spirit over matter.
In every age, Shabbat afforded the Jew a sacred retreat, a haven of safety, a fountain of new strength, and perpetual renewal.
Shabbat nurtures family life in love and harmony. A home at peace welcomes Shabbat with joy.
Shabbat is part of nature's design, the very purpose of creation. All that was created attained its fulfillment in Shabbat.
Shabbat is our hope, the calm haven where all the weary find rest. With the coming of Shabbat, redemption and peace enter the world. Yismechu, page 26. Malchutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'koret, Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'koret, Oneg Shabbat.
Mekadeshe Shavi Shabbat, Kulan Yisbehu, Veitanku mitu v'chashabat.
Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'koret, Oneg Shabbat.
Uvashvihi Ratzita bo kidashta Shabbat, Chandat Yamim, Ota Karata Shabbat.
Here we go. Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'koret, Oneg Shabbat.
Zecher Lema'aseh v'reishit Shabbat, Zecher Lema'aseh v'reishit Shabbat.
Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'koret, Oneg Shabbat.
Yismechu
v'malchutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat
v'koret, Oneg Shabbat.
I'm going to invite up Joanne Wentz and Roseanne and Terry Marr to lead us in our reading on page 27.
Sure. Our world is full of wonders and miracles, but all it takes is one little hand placed before our eyes and we see nothing.
But miracles are all around us and within us. We are each walking miracles.
When we are bruised, what miracle heals us? When we see beauty, what miracle elevates us? When we hear music, what miracle moves us?
When we see suffering, what miracle saddens us? When we give and receive love, what miracle warms us? When we pray, what miracle renews us?
Every springtime is a miracle. Every snowflake is a miracle. The thoughts we think, the words we speak, the hopes we cherish, each is a miracle.
For all these miracles, may your name be exalted and blessed forever and ever. And give Olivia a little wave and air hug and kiss. And the three of you can come on and sit down as we zoom in with great aunt and uncle Phyllis and Jerry Brown to lead us in our reading on page 28. I think they're zooming in from, it looks like San Francisco.
It's only the background. I can't get rid of it.
All right.
You know there is no greater gift than peace, Help us to find the peace that comes from the love of your Torah.
Inspire us to banish hatred, war, bloodshed, and bigotry. Help us to establish forever one human family, doing your will in love and peace.
Help us to find peace in ourselves and among all people. O God of peace, bless us with peace.
You have given us the power, O God, to bring peace and justice into the world. May we always love peace and pursue it,
and
love our fellow creatures. Fill us with kindness,
wisdom, and love.
and shall we learn to live in peace. Blessed is God,
teacher of peace.
Beautiful. So our words for Sim Shalom are on page 28.
Shalom, Tova, Uvracha, Sim Shalom, Tova, Uvracha, Chima Chesed, Verachamim, Chima Chesed, Verachamim, Verachamim, Sim Shalom, Tova, Uvracha, Sim Shalom, Tova, Uvracha.
We're going to invite everybody for a silent moment of reflection, meditation, prayer, discernment. Hold the silence for a moment. Strange is our situation here on earth. Each of us has come for a short visit, not knowing why. It's sometimes seeming to divine a purpose. From the standpoint of daily life, however, there is one thing we do know. That we are here for the sake of humanity, for the countless unknown souls with whose fate we are connected by a bond of sympathy. Many times a day, I realize how my own outer and inner life is built on the labors of my fellow human beings, both living and dead, and how earnestly I must exert myself in order to give in return as much as I have received and am still receiving.
Say shalom b'ramav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
So Olivia, I'm going to call up your parents, Melissa and Quentin, to come on up. And on page 31, you have a really special parent blessing. Melissa and Quentin, this blessing, these words are an amalgamation from various words of the Talmud. And the sages from the Talmud, aside from being great rabbis, were also parents. And to me, it is beautiful to see their words to their own children passed down through the ages, and now from the two of you to your daughter, on this most sacred of days.
May you live to see your world fulfilled. May your destiny be for worlds still to come, and may you trust in generations past and yet to be.
May your heart be filled with intuition and your words be filled with insight. May songs of praise ever be upon your tongue and your vision be on a straight path before you.
May your eyes shine with the light of holy words and your face reflect the brightness of the heavens. May your lips ever speak wisdom and your fulfillment be in righteousness.
A Jewish home opens its heart and its link to the generations is proclaimed. Today, our child, nearly grown, is called to read from the Torah and is welcomed into the congregation.
May this moment be blessed.
Amen. Hug, hug. Kiss, kiss. Beautiful. And go ahead and set down that microphone so that you can pick up the Torah as we begin our Torah service. Page 32. Please rise. Just pick up as is. Yep. Perfect. Oh, actually, no. Yes, that's right. Okay. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, udevar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, le'amo Yisrael, b'kedushato. All right, oh, you're so ahead of the game. Not yet. I'll say a few words first, which is, how heavy is that, Melissa? Is it pretty heavy?
No, it's good.
No, you're supposed to say it's really heavy.
Oh yeah, it's so heavy.
It's so heavy because the weight of our tradition. It's very heavy, friends, and we mean that literally and metaphorically. That this is an amazing moment in time, Olivia, that for thousands of years, men, and then now men and women, have had the opportunity to chant from the Torah, the exact same words that you are going to chant for us today. And it wouldn't be possible for your mom to be holding that Torah, for Quentin to be by your side and to be your father if it weren't for the generations that came before them. Exactly. We have Larry and Beverly. Exactly. Richard and Loretta as well joining us online. And those are Quentin's parents. And so beyond them, though, looking right over Grandpa's shoulder, you see the generations that keep going, Olivia. And they go back and back and back, and they loop around Temple Emanu-El, through the parking lot, past Garden Isaiah, back down, outside the Schiff playground, and on and on and on. And Olivia, you are the next person in that chain of tradition to bring these words of Torah to life. So now, Quentin, you can give your little hug, hug, kiss, kiss to our Torah. And Olivia, get comfy with it. We'll be on page 33. Do you have that arm around? You good?
Yeah, I did.
All right, page 33. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadlul Adonai Iti, Uneromema Shemo, Yachdav. The Winter family may now undress the Torah. Lecha Adonai Hagedula v'Hagevura v'Hatiferet v'Hanetzach v'Hamor.
If you ever buy a gas can, you need to buy 5 cans.
Hashamayim uvaretz kihol hashamayim uvaretz lecha Adonai hamamlacha v'amid naseh lechol lerosh. All right, Olivia, you can have it nice and open to your starting point.
Friends, we can be seated.
Olivia, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. So, friends, we are chanting Torah. I'm not chanting Torah. Olivia is chanting Torah for us this afternoon from the book of Leviticus. We're in chapter 23, Parshat Emor. And so, for our first Aliyah, it is my honor to call up to the microphone proud grandparents Beverly and Larry Brown. Ya'amdu Bela bat Aharon, Laser David ben Chaim la'aliyah.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torto. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Amen. Uvakutrehem et ketir artehem. Lo techaleh pe'at zelecha bekutrecha veleket kitrecha lo teleket le'ani velager ta'azov otam ani Adonai Elohehem. V'yedaber Adonai al Moshe lemor. Daber al bnei Yisrael lemor. V'hodesh hashavi'i be'echad lahodesh yeh lahem Shabbaton zichron teruah mikra kodesh kol melacha kol melechet avodah lo ta'asu hukat v'hikraftem ishem l'Adonai.
There you go, you got it. Beautiful.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah amet, v'chayei olam nafta b'snotenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Air hugs, slow kisses. And for our second Aliyah, we call forward Ross Brown, Michelle Rosenstein, and Gavin Brown. Ya'amdu Raphael ben Laser David, Aharon ben Raphael la'aliyah.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach,
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed,
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. V'yedaber Adonai al Moshe lemor. Be'esor lahodesh hashavi'i hazeh yom hakiparim hu mikra kodesh yeh lahem v'nitem et nafshotehem v'yikraftem isher l'Adonai b'chol melacha lo ta'asu be'etzem hayom hazeh ki yom kipparim hu l'chaper Eloheihem Lifnei Adonai Eloheihem.
Beautiful. Go ahead.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tokeinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Air hugs, air kisses, sending the love. And for our third Aliyah, it is proud mom, dad, and big brother. So that's Melissa, Quentin, and Dylan. Ya'amdu Rivka bat Laser David, Chaim ben Rivka la'aliyah.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamavarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Ki chol hanefesh asher lo te'uneh be'etzem hayom hazeh v'nichveta meyomecha v'ho hanefesh asher taseh kol melacha be'etzem hayom hazeh v'avadeti et hanefesh hahi mikerav amah kol melacha lo tasu hukat olam ledorotehem becho moshevotehem Shabbat, Shabbaton hu lahem, v'nitam et nafshotehem. B'tisha, lahodash, be'erev, mi'erev ad erev, tish betu, Shabbotehem.
Wonderful.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Real hugs and kisses. Maybe even from Dylan. Everyone. Who knows? All right, Olivia, as you're hugging your brother, you can also make your way to have a seat for just a moment. Yeah, Dylan, you can sit down. And so, Olivia, the reason we have you sit down right now is because this is the very moment we've been working toward it, that you are called to the Torah formally as a bat mitzvah. Doing an aliyah, making aliyah doesn't just mean moving to Israel, it means that coming up for the purpose of chanting Torah for your community. And it is my honor to be able to do that this afternoon. Ta'amad Chana bat Rivka la'aliyah.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayedaber Adonai al Moshe lemor. Daber al bnei Yisrael lemor. Bahamisha asar yom. Lahodesh hashavi'i hazeh hag hasukot. Shivat yamim ladonai. Bayom harishon mikra kodesh. Kol malechet avodah lo ta'asu.
Your blessing for after.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam natan betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So now I'm going to have you guys, this is the part where you're just going to roll it up, put the little clip on, and then we'll set it to the side and cover it. Perfect. And Olivia, if you want to get your Devar Torah out, it is now this wonderful time for you to share words of Torah with us. Nice and slow, and whenever you're ready.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for traveling from near and far and through Zoom to join our family to celebrate my Bat Mitzvah. Today we gather to celebrate the centuries-old tradition of becoming a Jewish adult. With that in mind, I'm honored that you are all here to witness me taking my first steps in joining my family's long-held proud tradition of legendary fetchers. Of course, a kid, sort of. Okay, let's go. I am truly the lucky one. For thousands of years, young Jews have studied, written, and taught their Devar Torahs to congregations all over the world. expounding on wonderfully interesting Torah portions like Genesis, where Jews are introduced to all the colorful characters in the Torah, or maybe Exodus, a story so good, DreamWorks used the digital magic to bring the ancient story to life. Not once, but twice. Nope. I looked out with the barn burner. Leviticus. When I first read my Torah portion, I told my parents, seriously, my Torah portion and more comes from the book of Leviticus, the Jewish book of ancient laws, magical olive oil, sprinkled blood, burnt kidneys, and ancient laws about nakedness. This could not be further from the Judaism I know and cherish. Yet, to my surprise, after several Zoom meetings with Rabbi Spike, I learned that Leviticus is not just a collection of archaic rules and laws. This book is a really important part of the Torah, so important that the ancient rabbis placed it right smack in the middle. While discussing Leviticus and my Parashat Amor, Rabbi Spike helped me digest and understand Leviticus from a different perspective. Thinking past the long list of archaic laws, which I didn't think applied to present-day Jews, we began thinking along the lines of pulling deeper meanings presented in the book. By discussing and digesting Leviticus, I came away understanding the big picture purpose of Leviticus is to really reveal the absolute holiness of God and the conditions on which he may be approached by men. So I began to wrap my brain around what that means. What does it truly mean to me? God, holiness, Jews, traditions, laws. Several weeks ago, like most of you, my family celebrated Pesach. Each year is slightly different from the last, but each year I find comfort in the similarity in traditions. This year, we were lucky enough to celebrate with our extended family and friends at the lovely home of Lynn and Linda Newport. This year, we were introduced to a Newport family tradition. Following the traditions of asking the questions during the Seder, Lynn introduced everyone to their family's tradition of speaking about the contemporary Jewish miracles that point out the miracles that continue to happen every day. That experience was neat as it blended ancient traditions with today's Jewish life. Circling back to a better understanding of our Jewish community, centuries ago, God took us out of slavery. In order to be near God, we must follow a set of laws on how to behave, and he just explained them to us. One of the impactful laws states to help others who are in need of a helping hand. God could have easily chose to look past us Jews, but instead chose to help. He could have chosen to take advantage of us, but instead chose to save us. I learned the underlying theme of laws in Leviticus lay out how Jews are to conduct themselves in both business and society. The laws guide us to intentionally not take advantage of other people's ignorance or vulnerabilities. Now, these are things I can respect and relate to. These laws and ideas of fairness and kindness, of not taking advantage of those less fortunate than us, those less aware. Instead of mistreating others, I live the Torah, and specifically the lessons of Leviticus, to be the best person that I can be and help others be the best they can be. Most of you know I'm an equestrian. I love horses, and especially love my pony, Fantastic Voyage. I chose this sport for my love of animals, and it has given me the ability to meet and grow with like-minded people. In this amazing sport, I have witnessed people trying to take advantage of others' ignorance and mistreat both horses and other people in the world. I've spent almost a year looking for the perfect horse or pony. Luckily, we found Coolio. His name's Fantastic Voyage, but his barn name's Coolio. Get it? You know the rapper? Come along and ride on the Fantastic Voyage. We were so green and inexperienced in the horse world. We were taking advantage of people trying to sell their problem ponies to us. The term horse trader isn't just a movie character. Those scoundrels still exist. I tried dozens of horses and ponies. We experienced everything from old nags to ponies and horses that want to sell so badly they would wear them out so the horse would not want to move when I tried them. I even tried a pony that was great to ride but hated to get washed, so he would drag me across the barn like I was water skiing. These are just some personal experiences where I can relate back to Leviticus. I experienced the feeling of being taken advantage of, when people put their needs and desires ahead of what's fair. I feel so blessed to have found Coolio. He's not perfect, and surely I know I am not perfect. What I've come to learn is we're perfect for each other. He and I are growing together, and there are no shortcuts in progress. If I screw up heading to a jump, Coolio will tell on me by ducking out and running. But when I need his help most, he will protect me. There have been occasions where Coolio will save me and carry me over a jump, even when I wasn't in the correct position or I wasn't doing something right, because I love him, and he could trust me. Unlike other sports, my equipment has a brain and heart, and you have to form a bond of trust and love to find success. I know I should not judge other people's decisions on how they treat their horses, but what I do know is the most successful riders have the best relationship with their horse. I love that my family has provided me with the opportunity to ride my buddy Coolio. I'm so grateful for this experience, and being grateful is a part of being holy to me. I have learned that giving myself without expecting anything in return is holy. I practice this through helping people in need. A horse trainer I have known for a few years is recovering from a surgery as he tries to beat cancer. His farm has 25 horses, and I heard that they needed support. Since I don't have a lot of money as a kid, I organized 5 of my barn friends to spend a day at his barn and help in any way we could. We did barn chores like mucking stalls, feeding horses, cleaning trailers, and helping in any way we could. This is a life lesson I learned from studying Torah and Leviticus, and that is shaping the person I am becoming. I would like to take a moment to thank all the people who have helped me successfully get here today, and amazingly in one piece. Rabbi Spike, Rabbi Rachel, Cantor Desnick, and everyone here at Temple Emanu-El. Thank you for your teachings, guidance, and most importantly, your patience. Grandma Bev and Grandpa Glasses, thank you for helping me grow as a person, experiencing and sharing our Jewish traditions, and for all your support. Thank you for teaching me the importance of family. Grandpa Mustache, thank you for all your support and unconditional love, and for sharing your traditions and for always being there to support our family in any way you can. Christmas is always awesome. And Sharon, thank you for traveling here all the way from Buffalo to support me as I continue the proud traditions of a strong Freeman woman. Uncle Ross, Michelle, Jordan, Gavin, and Jonah, I love you guys. Thank you for all the fun memories, and I look forward to making many more. Quick shout out to my cousin Audrey. Only girls in the family. I miss you and hope to see you soon. And Joy, what can I say? You're the absolute bestest aunt in the world, and I love you more. Before I get to the sappy stuff, I want to thank my trainer Carolyn Duncan, who has got me here where I am today. I would not be here without your guidance and overall support. I have no words that can describe how lucky I am to be able to learn and train with you. Mom and Dad, oh, what I have to say for you. You are the best parents a girl can ask for. You support me in my crazy adventures and overly crazy sports. If you were not in my life, I would not be able to continue to do what I love and will forever be grateful for the life you have provided me and Dylan. Dylan. Oh, Dylan. I almost forgot about you. Just kidding. I really could not have asked for a better brother. No, seriously. My friends are always like, your brother will play games with you? He'll hang out with you? He has so much more patience than my sibling. To be honest, it's true. You're always there when I need you. To play games with me, to watching movies with me, to hanging up the phone with your friends if I'm not in the best mood. All I have to say is thank you. And I love you and your craziness. Lastly, I want to thank all my friends, mostly my best friends, for always putting up with my craziness and hyper energy. You guys have definitely put up with all of my problems and have been with me through it all. For everyone I have stated, all I have to say is thank you and I love you. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Beautiful. We have just heard from a young woman. We have a young woman. Okay. Mom and Dad, come back up for a second. Okay, I'm going to ask everyone to rise, but listen, Quinn, will you put a hand on Olivia's shoulders? Olivia, we are going to, right on the edge of those beautiful words, interpreting Torah, and bringing Leviticus to life, after having just beautifully chanted Torah, no easy feat. And by the way, for those who've seen Torah chanted 1 time, 10 times, 100 times, don't forget, it's hard. There is so much work that goes into that. It is a major, major accomplishment. So with these things, we're going to give you a special Misha Berach, Olivia. And this Misha Berach is for your continued spiritual development. The hope is that you look upon this day and these moments as the cornerstone for you to find home and push off of to go wherever you're going to go. Mishaberach Avotenu Vimotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel Leah Hu Yivarech Et Hana Bat Rivka Shehagia LaMitzvot LaAlta LaTorah Akaros Baruch Hu Yismeireha v'Chayeha V'chonan Et Liba Yot Shalem Im Adonai Elohecha Lagopa Torah Tola Lecha Bidrachav LaMitzvor Mitzvotav V'Tim Sechen V'Seichel Tov V'nei Elohim v'Adam v'nomar.
Amen.
May God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless you, Olivia, who's come up for an aliyah upon the age of mitzvot. May the Holy One guard you and sustain you, helping you to be wholehearted in your faith, studying God's Torah, walking in God's ways, fulfilling God's mitzvot. May you find favor, Olivia, before God and all people. And we say,
Amen.
Okay. So everyone can have a seat for a moment. Mom and Dad as well. I'll call you back up in a minute. So Olivia, Rabbi Rachel and I have said it before, but it's worth repeating. Of all the things that we get to do here as rabbis at Temple Emanu-El, including ruckus Friday night services and high holidays and weddings, our most favorite thing to do is what we've been doing with you for the past many months. And that is getting to know you at a pretty deep level and studying what's called Torah Lishma, Torah for the sake of higher thought, higher thinking. Olivia, I can't start talking without you without talking about your family for a second, okay? It is not usual for parents to participate in the Devar Torah lessons as focused and as actively as your parents have. And I think that says a lot, right? And not only are they there to make sure you're okay and doing okay, but they're into it. And they're paying attention and they're delving, dad and mom. And I really love and respect that. And I don't think that's an accident. I think that your grandparents, who have been so involved with Temple Emanu-El over the decades, have brought forth this idea that a living, intellectual, emotional, spiritual Judaism is something that enriches both our communal aspect and also our inner life. So those are the fertile grounds that you've kind of come into this with. And Olivia, my number one impression of you is that anytime I am around you, and I really think that this is probably the way it is for everybody, it's like there's a bright sunshine light in my face. That anytime any room you're a part of lights up, I have a feeling that any friend group that you're a part of becomes more positive, that any community that you're actively a part of becomes more optimistic, more enthused, which doesn't mean, I'm sure, that you have times where that light switch goes off, right? And there's probably times when things aren't as wonderfully bright as what I'm describing, right? We're all human. But you have an infectious, beautiful energy and what we call a Yiddish neshama, this wonderful, shining, bright Jewish soul. So my hope and my blessing for you as you go through these next years, right, into adulthood, and then before you know it, on your own, right, that you remember that you are part of something really special, that you always remember it. Remember this time and this space and this place and this community that has so much love and affection for you, and you can always turn to it, push off of it, come back to it, re-engage it, right? This is part and parcel who and what you are. So keep doing what you're doing. We are so, so proud of you for who you are and the woman you are becoming.
Olivia, I don't know what I'm going to do at 4 o'clock on Tuesdays and sometimes Thursdays with my week. And I'm sad that I'm not going to get to see your lovely face over Zoom each and every week, because as Rabbi Spike mentioned, it's a bright light even over Zoom.
Yeah.
That you could pop on there and be chipper and hi and so dedicated. That's the real piece, though. I know this was not an easy journey, and you worked very hard, and it shows. You have just led us so, so beautifully, and you should feel so proud of all the time and the work that you put in, and perhaps tears that were shed. And you're here. You did it. And I want you to remember how you got here. That it was through that Olivia positivity, that it was through digging deep in here, knowing in here, and even deeper in that soul piece. And Olivia, I'm still stuck on the fact that I don't know what I'm going to do on Tuesdays now at 4. So you might have to still call me, but my prayer for you, Olivia, is that you always find those moments to shine. You always find the time to work hard at the things that don't always come easy and still work hard at the things that are easy. And somewhere in between, find time to keep spending with your family, with your friends, with everybody that you love and that loves you.
So Olivia, as we get ready to offer you the priestly benediction, I'll ask everyone to rise for this. I want you to pay attention to one thing. Turn around for a second and look up on top of the ark. You see these words. And those words are the words that, yep, right out here. Yep. Good, good. Those words are the words that Jacob uttered when he was a teenager upon realizing that where he was somewhere amazingly special and profound. And those words say, Mano Ra Hamakom Hazeh, which means, how awesome is this place? And with that in mind, we are going to offer you the priestly benediction as our rabbis have been doing with their youth since time began as we know it.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's countenance shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Yis Adonai panav elecha v'yasim lecha shalom.
May God's face turn towards you, Olivia, and grant you the greatest gift of all, which you're experiencing right now. Feet on the floor, Torah at your back, your whole community and family around you with support and love, your whole life ahead of you, all the opportunities, a sense of wholeness, completeness, and peace. And we say,
Amen.
Amen.
So we'll remain standing as we close out our Torah service, and then we'll get to hear from some very proud parents. So we're on page 39 at the bottom. Eitz Chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tomchecha meushar derachecha darchei noam v'chol netivotecha shalom hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashucha Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem.
Please be seated, everyone, unless you are Olivia's mom and dad, and then you come on up.
Do I go down?
No, and you keep standing too.
Okay.
You ready to
I was
set?
a little bit
Can I take your shoes off?
Can I?
We'll go this way.
You can.
Yeah, I want to stay home for that.
Want to come this way?
Yeah. All right, Olivia, you nailed it. It is so nice to see just everybody here today on Zoom and Facebook. And thank you guys. Thank you for joining us to watch Olivia live it up as she became a bat mitzvah this evening. While it might have been a little bit different than what we might have envisioned a couple of years ago, we are just so thankful that technology allowed those near and far to tune in and watch all of your energy and your hard work and your dedication pay off.
We're astounded by how much you've matured, your independence, your perseverance, and the hard work that you put in during this crazy year. 2020 has been a doozy, to say the least. The entire world's been challenged and forever changed by this global pandemic. Many have struggled, and most have not been able to adjust to this ever-changing dynamic world. But you You found a way to thrive because you've been unknowingly preparing for this pandemic your entire life. You have faced and overcome personal challenges since you were born.
The rest of the world always sees you as that smiling starburst of positivity, which you are. But the closest to us know the numerous physical and emotional challenges you have faced in the first years of your life that has made you the fiercest fighter of all of us. Nothing has come easily to you. You've always taken life's lemons and squeezed the juice out of them to make Olivia-flavored lemonade. Our family always talks about the ultimate power of grit. While studies have shown it is one of the most important personality traits that determines success. Luckily for you, Olivia, you are the oddest combination of fluffy, cuddly, warm, and the grittiest sandpaper in the world.
Every time life has knocked you off a bike, broken an arm, an elbow, a finger, a toe, or challenged your internal fortitude with some alopecia and allergies, or a pony who's just a pain in the horse's rear, one that bucks you off into a fence, we've literally watched you get up, dust yourself off, and get on back on that horse.
We have been there as you've cried from the pain of broken bones, from the fear of what you can or can't eat, the unknowns as you process what some doctors may tell you, whether they're orthos, allergists, derms, endos. Dad and I have cried with you because all we want is to protect you from everything and anything that makes your life difficult. But in the end, we stand in awe of your internal fortitude, your grit, your ability to take a blow, reshape it, bend it, and make it a part of who you are. And ultimately, you always own it. As I always say, God gave you these challenges because you can handle them, and these are your superpowers.
The effect that you have on those around you amazes us. If you just listen to everybody else today, I count myself as one of the lucky ones, as I think of how much you've changed me. You've challenged my preconceived notions of what raising a daughter was supposed to be. When you were first born, I thought my role was to protect my baby girl, shelter her from any harm, keep her from feeling any pain and sadness, create a false reality in an environment full of pink rainbows and fluffy unicorns. No. You pretty much kicked those archaic, chauvinistic notions right in their pretentious, glass-ceiling face.
You know best, there are no shortcuts. As you've seen in the horseback world, every level comes from its own mastery. You do not enter the ring ever thinking you are entitled. Instead, you know that you need to work hard to earn it. We love and support your riding because it allows us to watch you in your element. It expresses everything about you: passion, love, hard work, dedication, and commitment. You can lose gracefully and always support and compliment your competition. Countless hours at the barn riding Coolio, cleaning stalls, scooping poop, traveling to shows, creating strong bonds with your barn family and trainer, all bring us happiness because we see how much joy riding brings you. And it creates so much of your character, inside and outside of the ring.
You've taught us to observe, to listen, to learn, and to support you. We do just that while we sit back and continue to be amazed. We've learned our role isn't to create a fake world for you, but to prepare you for this dynamic realities of the real world, to help you develop the tools, the words, the emotional strength, and self-awareness to accept life's challenges, process them, and own them in your own unique Olivia way.
You are authentic on how you live your life. 13 years has gone by so fast. Our wish for you as you enter adulthood on your bat mitzvah is simply this: continue to embrace and appreciate all that you have accomplished. Continue to give yourself credit for all of the work that you've put in. Your hard work has and always will continue to pay off. Sometimes it's hard to see growth when you experience it day in and day out, but continue to find ways to be your biggest fan.
We are so proud of the amazing, strong young woman you are, and our hearts are filled with love and unyielding admiration for the beautiful person that you're already becoming, for all the good that you bring to the world today, and always we are grateful to have a front row seat in this incredible epic saga that is your life.
We couldn't get to this weekend without all of the support from our family and friends, and of course the clergy for their countless hours working with you to prepare for this special day. It does indeed take a village, and we are so fortunate to have such an incredible community that we call our family. Thank you for your love and support always. Olivia Jade, we are so proud of you. We love you to the moon and back again. Mazel tov.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yep, hug, big kiss. All those wonderful things. And Dylan, at this time, if you will come up and give your speech. I'm just kidding.
Gotcha.
If you will come on up for. I've been waiting for the right brother to do that too.
That was good.
He was the right one.
He was, yes. We're actually going to rise for Aleinu Shabbat, page 40. If y'all will please open the ark, and we will pray these words together. Aleinu Shabbat, Ladon HaKol, Latet Genulah Liotzer Breshit, Shelo Asanu Kuye HaRatzot, Velo Samanu Kimishpachot Adama, Shelo Sam Chalkenu Kahem, Vigor Aleinu Kechol Hamonam, Vanachnu Korim, Umitachavim Umodim, Lifnei Melech, Malchei HaMachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, V'ne'emar, V'haya Adonai, L'melech al kol ha'aretz, Bayom ha'hu, Yeh Adonai echad, U'shemo, echad. You can close the ark. It's okay, it always says that. And please be seated. Dylan, you stay up.
Yeah, Dylan.
As a family. Because we've reached the point in our service where we remember the loved ones who may not be here physically, but whose spirit we know is with us. We imagine their faces shining down upon us, smiling with great pride. So I know your family is thinking especially today of Jenny Friedman, Dina Goldstein, Paul Leff, Aaron Friedman, Hyman Brown, and Rose Brown. And so friends who are here or online, at this time, if you are in the first 30 days mourning the loss of a loved one, I invite you to please rise in your place. If you are in the first year, Yud Bet, mourning the loss of a loved one, I invite you to please rise in your place. If on this Shabbat you are commemorating a yahrzeit, a death anniversary of a loved one, I invite you to rise at this time. And now I invite you to rise, if it is your custom, as it is here at Temple Emanu-El, so that we may recite Mourner's Kaddish together, page 41. Yitkadav yitkadash shmei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayachon uvyomechon uv'chay d'chol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'omei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yit'alal shmei d'kudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'asei shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. Amen. And friends, at this time, I'll invite y'all to go ahead and take those the candle and the Kiddush cup and the spices so that we can, as a group, participate in this ritual of Havdalah, separating Shabbat from the rest of the week as we move into a new week with the setting sun.
Yeah, you can hide it, please.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen borei peri hagafen
Olivia, little sip.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei v'samim borei minei
Dylan, take a
v'samim
sniff and pass it around.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei ha'esh borei me'orei
Alyssa, fingernails, a little heat on the, there you go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil ben kodesh lechol hamavdil ben kodesh lechol.
Melissa, pick up the wine cup, the Kiddush cup, and you're going to extinguish the Havdalah candle. There you go. And in doing so, Shabbat will be over.
Hamavdil ben kodesh lechol hatotenu imchol zarenu v'chaspenu yarbe kachol v'hakochavim balayla Shavua tov, 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 a good week, a week of peace, may gladness reign and joy increase. A good week, a week of peace, may gladness reign and joy increase. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hakiladi, Bimhera v'yamenu yavo eleinu, Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben David. Simen Tova, Mazel Tova, Mazel Tova, Simen Tova, Simen Tova, Mazel Tova, Mazel Tova, Simen Tova, Simen Tova, Mazel Tova, Mazel Tova, Simen Tova. Yehei lanu, Yehei lanu, Yehei lanu, Uvechol Yisrael. 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 Mazel tov, everybody. Shavua tov.